Silence is the only way to communicate the experience of Brahman. Seven rishis went to Bhagavan Dakshinamurti to teach them. They requested for teaching about self-realization or Brahman realization. Dakshinamurti sat in silence for 72 years. And seven rishis also sat in silence in front of him for 72 years. He was communicating what is Brahman realization is about. Because Brahman realization cannot be expressed through any words, ideas, or concepts. The words, ideas, or concepts belong to the category of mind and intellect. The experience of Brahman realization is beyond mind, beyond intellect. Mind and intellect and body are vehicles, instruments. Just like there's a tube light, there's a fan. When the electricity goes through them, the tube light is able to give light, the fan rotates. But fan and tube light can never understand about electricity. The body, mind, and intellect complex can never understand Brahman experience, Brahman realization. When the mind is silent, free from ignorance, the mind becomes one with Brahman, and that's a Brahman experience. So because the mind is absent, that experience cannot be communicated. So let us take two types of experiences. One is the empirical experience, and other is experience of self-realization or Brahman realization. Empirical experience, self-realization or Brahman. In empirical experience, which is nothing but worldly experience, there's something to be known. I know the flower. I know the taste of sugar. So there is an object and a subject. There is a separation between the object and subject. When there's separation between the object and subject, you can explain that experience. You can explain the experience when there's separation between the object and subject. The explanation may not be correct. Explanation may be inaccurate. But still explanation is possible. For example, you can say, I ate sugar, I ate jalebi, which is sweet. Sweet is a word which communicates some idea to somebody. How sweet it is, all those things you cannot communicate. But if the idea has to be communicated, you cannot communicate an idea to somebody who has no experience of that. Somebody who doesn't understand sweet, even if he says sweet, he doesn't understand. So to communicate some idea, that person also should have that experience. Otherwise, you cannot communicate. The communication may not be accurate, but communication can happen through words and ideas in the empirical experience or experience of the world. So Brahman experience, realization of Brahman, is beyond thought, word, or deed, physical, mental, and intellectual. So there is no way you can explain. That's why the people who realize Brahman, they communicate it through silence. So somebody asked Buddha, what did you realize? He said, I was awakened. He didn't say I realized something, because any positive statement will restrict the scope. The positive statement can belong to the category of empirical experience, known. Okay, so that's why Upanishads teach the Brahman as neti, neti, neti. Not this, not this, not this. It teaches in a negative way. Even the experience of Brahma relation, Advaita, is a negative word. Advaita doesn't mean oneness. Advaita means there is no two. It doesn't say one. The experience of Brahman cannot be communicated through a positive word, because positive word restricts the scope of communication. For example, I'll say that flower is red in color, which is a very positive statement, very accurate statement. Okay. So now it restricts the scope and points to experience. Suppose I say that flower is not red. It's a negative statement. Then it can be pink, that can be yellow, then it can be green, then it can be any color. It leaves open. Right? So that's why Upanishad teach experience of Brahman in the negative terms. Neti, neti, neti. Because what is consciousness cannot be explained through any words. It is a consciousness which gives the power to the speech, power to the intellect, power to the mind. Okay, just like electricity powers tube light. Tube light can never explain or understand electricity. The mind, intellect, and body cannot understand consciousness. So the experience of self-realization can only be communicated through silence. But then it becomes difficult for people to understand. What will understand? What people understand? Somewhere you have to communicate communication. So that's why Rishis use some positive words for communication. Some positive words. Okay. They said Sat Chit Ananda, truth, consciousness, and bliss. They said Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma, truth, knowledge, infinity is Brahma. They said Tat Tvamasi, you are that. These are all abstractions which are helping you or helping to your mind to ponder over Brahman, but they are not accurate statements. They are not precise, even though they are abstract statements which will help you to understand nature of Brahman experience. Because something you need, a human mind needs some support. The support is given in terms of teachings of Upanishad. These are indicative of Brahman experience, Brahman nature, but they are not accurate, because no words can accurately explain the Brahman. And that's why Rishi said in Neti, Neti, not this, not this, and left open realization of Brahman as a direct experience. Because iti, 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 if you say this, 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 the mind comes into picture and tries to find out something, object, conceptualizes. So if you say no, 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 the mind cannot conceptualize. So that's why it said, Yato vacho nivartante. To talk about Brahman, the words will fail. The words cannot explain it. It's anirvachaniyam. This is the nature of Brahman experience. You cannot speak. You cannot communicate. You can only point. The point is different from the pointed. Pointer. The pointed is different from the pointer. If I show the moon, my finger is here, but moon is there. You look at the moon. All statements of scripture are pointers. But people catch hold of the pointer and think that is the reality. No. The reality or truth, absolute truth, can be explained in no words. Words fail. silence is indicative. But there is a silence of the fool and silence of the wise man. A fool also can be silent. A wise man also can be silent. So silence can be misunderstood. That's why some guidelines are given, some pointers are given to help you.